Hello there. They call me Mr. E. Now, I often hear people talking about politics, and something along the lines of this will always come up. There's no major difference between the major political parties. They are really just the same thing. Now, this is absolutely untrue, and it really isn't accurate for politics outside of the United States. In the US, there is an exclusive two-party system. They have intentionally set things up in America so that as a voter, you only have the opportunity to choose from the Republicans or the Democrats. This is not the same as a Conservative Party and a Labour Party in any of the other Western democracies of the world. We are so brainwashed with Americanism that we have lost the ability to critically analyse politics in countries outside of the US. This is a massive problem for global democracy and society and across the world and needs to be addressed.
My name is Mystery. For reasons unknown, I have been thrown back into the past almost 100 years, and this is my story.
In America, there is a two-party system, being the Democrats on one side and the Republicans on the other. As with the world at large, the US is an oligarchy controlled by powerful business interests. The two-party system in the US is how the American oligarchs ensure their interests are always provided for. This is why you have such consistent swing between each party in the US. Every 4 to 8 years you have a Democrat president, then you have a Republican president, and so on and so forth. It's not because their democracy is just so well balanced that it vacillates between these two parties. It's because they are the same thing. The oligarchy has two faces. Its more progressive looking side, the Democrats, and its more hardcore conservative side, the Republicans. It doesn't really matter who is in power. They are both a party of the ruling classes. The whole system is designed to ensure it stays like this. If you are a runner for the presidential selection, it doesn't matter how many people vote for you. The system is rigged so that presidents are picked ultimately through the party, not by voters. This ensures the party elite and their donors have their puppets in the top job and in control. Now, if you look at left and right political parties in other liberal democracies around the world, they are structured very differently. The Europeans have strong social democratic parties on the left which are built on working class ideas, leftist thinking and union movements. In the British systems, including Australia, you have Labour parties which come from working class traditions and, dare I say, socialist beginnings. The US doesn't have a Labour or working class party like other democratic countries. Just because the Democrats appear to be on the left, they are not a working class party. And so, what you have in Europe, the UK, Australia, Asian democracies, is the oligarchy, the business interests, represented by parties on the right, and the more working class interests represented on the left. There is massive support from business, the media, lobby groups, to have conservative parties, the right-wing parties, in power as much as possible, if not all the time, because they are assured to give the oligarchy what they want, more concentrated power. Look at Australia, for example. The Federal Coalition on the right has been in power since World War II, approximately 75% of the time. The Labour Party, its only real contender, has been in power a handful of times in the last 70 years. It's just because it's too risky to have a party that brings in policies and makes decisions that are in the interest of people, not just the ruling classes. Labour parties, traditionally, look to regulate industry and finance. They might look to provide more scope for collectivisation and unionism. They might consider environmental and community protection laws that are at the expense of business. They might even try to provide free education and healthcare. These working class parties with these radical ideas are a threat to the oligarchy, and they can't be in power. Maybe they can, but very seldomly. And that's just so the people can get it out of their system, and then the oligarchy can go back to having the stability of having their Conservative Party puppets in power. To bring it full circle now, the idea that the left and the right major parties are the same thing really, there's just no difference between them, is false and a side effect of our Americanized culture. Social, democratic, Labour, leftist parties outside of the US have done more for average people in the environment than any Conservative Party has ever done willingly. And to say that they are the same thing is just dangerous thinking. If you thought this was interesting, please give it a like and a share. And please subscribe for more. There is much to learn before we can unlock the revolution. Remember, I am, you are, we are mystery.